Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
And let's unmute myself so you guys can hear me. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So today we covered... Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I don't know what's going on. Adam, I think, flipped the server, but he didn't realize I was just going live right away, so he didn't need to do that. Hopefully I'm on the right one. I think he did. I think I'm right. Sorry, there was some confusion there. All right, for anyone just tuning in, my name is Steve, and this show is sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems. If you're unfamiliar with who Spartan Armor Systems are, well, they are an armor system company. You'll see me turn a lot like this today. I've got a stiff neck. I don't know what it is. Probably because I've been sitting at this computer since 10 o'clock this morning. Nonstop. Haven't stopped. I've been live streaming all day. All the stuff that we needed to see. Right? Very weird. We covered the budget hearings all morning. The Make America, whatever the hell the stupid saying is from the Biden administration. So we covered those hearings all morning. And then from 2 o'clock on, and it's still going, Secretary Blinken is testifying before the Foreign Affairs Committee. And at this point, there's no reason to watch. We got a couple of freshman Congress people that are going to ask some questions. None of them are firecrackers that are going to actually ask any questions that would, trigger an actual response. So Blinken has been doing his same usual, non-answer kind of bullshit that the White House administration has come, they're used to. I got to fix the lighting in the back. You'll see I moved some stuff around back behind me. Where is it? Yeah, you'll see that big old fancy blue and tan machine back there is a printer or a heat press. That's when I'm printing a lot of these shirts. And maybe once in a while, when my neck's not sore, once in a while, I'll have the other camera set up there and it's kind of facing in that direction. And I was thinking, you know what? I'll do the shows while printing shirts and shit. Why the hell not? That's if I get the presses right. But yeah, check out Spartan. That was a really long, weird message. Spartan Armor Systems is the sponsor for Citizen Stringers. You can check them out, SpartanArmorSystems.com. And if you use code YEET, you get 10% off your order. Now, when you're talking about a $540 tactical body armor set, 10% is a pretty big deal, even if you're going with one of their 289, I think that's what it is, don't hold me to it, concealable body armor sets with the... Where my neck is really sore, I'm sorry. But we got like this. This is their concealable body armor that they have. I've got the front plate and the back one I was using for demonstration procedures, and I don't know where it is. I think it's somewhere behind me on the little shelf that you guys can't see. But yeah, so this set I think is $299, give or take a few, dozen dollars. But you can get that from SpartanArmorSystems.com. And the way America's going, you may want to do it. So let's jump right into our news stories today, man. Because do we have some weird news for you? We really do. Today is Monday. What's Monday mean? Well, I do my mass shooting report. This week was different, though, because I just did not have the energy nor the will to actually write out the little bits of what happened in each of these cities. Because we had a tremendous amount of mass shootings. 19 mass shootings in the past 7 days left 13 people killed and 82 people injured. Let me just say it again, just in case you weren't listening. 19 mass shootings killed 13 people and injured 82 other people. In the past 7 days, the Biden administration has added yet another new record, right? They're on track to set a whole bunch of new records all the time. with 19 mass shootings. I already said 13 people dead, 82 people injured. Now, this is crazy because everyone could say, well, oh, mass shootings. Oh, I thought it was always old white men. That they're the ones who are responsible for the mass shootings. I know that's what mainstream media tells you. It's just not true. That's not what it actually is. But guess how many mass shootings there have been since Joe Biden took office on January 20th? Guess. 469 mass shootings since Joe Biden. That's more than 2 a day. He averages more than 2 a day. God dang. He's doing great. Right? 469 mass shootings have left 478 people dead and 1,938 people wounded. I'm going to say that number again. 478 people have died and 1,938 have been injured in mass shootings since Joe Biden took office on January 20th. To put that in perspective, it would only be fair of us to talk about how many mass shootings took place during the same time period of, Trump's first year, right? That would be the right thing to do, right? To give context to what's actually happening here in America. Well, guess what? There were 238 mass shootings since January 20th of 2017 to September 12th, because that's when I did it. I ended it yesterday, September 12th of 2017. There were 238 mass shootings. Wait, Steve. Is that double the mass shootings? Is that less than half of the mass shootings that have happened since Biden took office? Yes, that's it. There have been 255 dead in those, initial mass shootings. What? Isn't that nearly half of the casualties? Yeah, it is. And there were 929 people, which is less than half. Biden is breaking records left and right. We got inflation through the roof, gas prices through the roof, unemployment through the roof, pandemic, blah, blah, psychopath shit through the roof. Our government spending now is going to be through the roof. And he also has mass shootings going for him, too. More people are dying under the Biden administration than they did in the same time period from mass shootings than they did in the Trump administration. But everybody tells you that Donald Trump was bad, right? I want to point out, too, we learned today, how many U.S. service members were killed in the first, and we don't even know if this is an accurate number. How many U.S. service members were killed from January 20th, 2017 to September 12th, 2017? We don't know, and we could find out, but we know there were 14 people killed in 2017, U.S. service members overseas in Afghanistan. Joe Biden, in his first 7 months, 13 killed. Gun violence is through the roof. You can't even walk in cities anymore. There were 3 schools today that were locked down with active shooter incidents. Many of them panned out not to be true. There's mall shootings. You can't even go to a club anymore, even though you wouldn't want to because the music sucks. But there's mass shootings that are happening at clubs, or people get pissed that they get kicked out, so they're shooting. That's the majority of these shootings. I'm going to run through them just so you could tell. Now, not all of these locations are Democrat, which breaks the change, but more than 90% of them are. In Temple, Texas, yesterday, 4 were wounded. In Detroit, Michigan, 1 was killed, 5 were wounded. On September 11th, in Dothan, Alabama, 5 were wounded. Chicago, 1 was killed, 3 were wounded. Patterson, New Jersey, 4 wounded. Chicago, Illinois, second mass shooting in Chicago. 1 person was killed, 5 was wounded. Utica, New York, wherever the hell that is, 4 were wounded. On September 12th, in Orlando, 4 people were shot. In September 9th, there were 2 mass shootings, which left 1 person killed, 10 injured, and one of which, East St. Louis, 7 people were wounded when a gunman opened fire. That was the same time there's a train derailment as well. In Montgomery, Alabama, there was 1 person killed, 3 wounded. September 8th, there was a mass shooting in St. Louis, Missouri this time. 4 were wounded there. In September 7th, there was 1 mass shooting that left 1 dead, 5 wounded. September 6th, in Atlanta, Georgia, 5 people were shot. All are expected to be okay, from what I understand. On September 5th, there was a whopping 6 mass shootings in one day across the United States. Independent, Missouri, 4. Bronx, 4. Those are all wounded. In Houston, Texas, 4 people were killed. Athens, Georgia, 6 people wounded. Lakeland, Florida, 4 killed, 2 injured. Cincinnati, Ohio, 4 people wounded. You just want to look at the crime rates. There's kids getting killed every weekend in Chicago. There's people being shot up in New York. There's a video online of New York. The NYPD is asking for the public's help in identifying some guy that turned around on an escalator in a subway station and kicked a woman in the chest, causing her to roll by. And you know what I was like, okay, that's pretty messed up. But you know what pissed me off even more so than any of that stuff, was the fact that the woman that was standing behind the woman that got kicked in the chest, she got out of the way and watched this lady roll all the way down the escalator. It's not even the first instinct anymore to help. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. You would think it would be. Wait, even though there's a sea of bad news, and I don't have a dad joke. I know I said I was going to do dad jokes after we got these stories, but this is better than a dad joke. Because we have someone that actually took matters in their own hands, right? An alleged peeping Tom shot dead through the wall of a Houston home. A man accused of being a peeping Tom was shot and killed outside a woman's home in North Houston Friday evening, according to police. It happened Friday shortly after 11 p.m. in the 8900 block of Irving Boulevard. Police say the man was caught peeping through a woman's bedroom window, and when the woman saw him, she became scared, grabbed a rifle, and shot at the wall several times, striking that peeping scumbag. She was in fear, said Houston Police Lieutenant R. Wilkins. She grabbed a rifle, shot several times through the wall of her home, hitting the man at least once in the torso before he staggered a few feet away and then died. Investigators are looking into the shooting, but say it appears there's no relationship between the man and woman. It appeared that the woman did not know did not know who was looking into her house, only that someone was, and she's like, bam, which is what everyone should do. If you find someone peeping through your house, especially if you're a woman by yourself, you don't know what he's going to do. My advice to you would be protect yourself while you still can. So there's a couple other stories I wanted to touch on real briefly. We talked, and I'm going to get to this whole Afghanistan thing in a minute, but I got to talk real quick about this weekend, September 18th in D.C. There's apparently a January 6th rally in support of it's stupid. It's a January 6th rally to rally against political persecution, because that's what's going on with the January 6th defendants. I'm not going to argue that they're innocent or not innocent, because that's not a conversation for right now. I've made my viewpoint on it several times, very public, that the people that committed crimes need to be committed crimes, or need to be charged with it, and they are. But the problem is they're not being afforded due process, which is why there's a protest. The media is trying to portray it like everyone is protesting outside of this place, demanding that they be released and that they shouldn't be charged. But that's just factually incorrect. What people are doing, because I've spoken to the organizers, some of them, what people are doing there is they want people to be afforded bail. They want due process. They want the rights that are afforded to them under, the rights. The rights. That's what they want. They want the right to not speedy trials. They want the right to eat. They want the right not to get the shit kicked out of them by, overzealous guards. They want the right not to be locked up 23 hours a day. They want the right to be able to make bail on misdemeanor charges. But the media is portraying this as another January 6th. The Metropolitan Police Department has fully activated their entire department, and now they're putting up walls. So I have something that I would say, if anyone ever listened to me, this is what I would say right now. Matt Branyard and all these other people that are organizing this thing, cancel it. Because what you're doing is, no matter how it's going to look, it is going to backfire. The idea of the whole protest and all that, I fully back that. Because these guys that are in jail right now are being mistreated. We know that. But this whole protest now, it's backfiring on so many levels. The mainstream media is now picking up shit. Even Fox News has an article about it right now. Mainstream media's picked this up, and they're spinning that narrative. They caught some bozo, which they catch bozos every day by the U.S. Capitol with swastikas and, drive into, Capitol police officers and kill them. They catch people that do stupid shit in front of the Capitol every day. I was just in D.C. I was not far away from the Capitol. They had a suspicious vehicle that they think there were weaponry in. They had bomb squads out there when I was there on Saturday. It literally happens every day. But the thing that's different this time is now they just get to blame it on Trump. They get to blame it on Trump supporters, no matter what, because that's what the media is already portraying it to be. That's what the government is portraying it to be. They're not trying to portray it to be as what it is. You know, if I had any say and people actually listen to me out there, I would tell them to cancel it. Make a big public statement and say why you're canceling it. Move it away from D.C. Hold it. You know, contact me. We'll do a big ass one right here. You know, but they shouldn't be doing it in D.C. for a variety of reasons. That's the biggest reason, because your movement and what the message that you want to cross now it's been manipulated. Mainstream media's running it and they're fear mongering with it. You're going to have, you know, all these counter protesters that are going to show up because they don't know why you're there. They think that you're there because you think the people that were in the Capitol and the people that are being charged have no responsibility for the actions that day. That's not why, and I hope that's not why people are there. The people that are being charged with the crimes, they're being charged because, well, there's evidence to say they did something wrong. They broke some sort of statute. Do I think that they're being persecuted? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's not get me wrong. They did do something wrong. But if you look at the standard and the way that people have been released for similar crimes in the past, they just happen to have a different skin color or stand for something politically different. They're not being charged. The problem here is that it's not even like the event is going to be misconstrued. The event is completely and utterly already ruined. So now, no matter what happens there, it's going to be bad. The media has already spun it in such a negative way. If I was in charge of that group, I would send out a message to anyone that said they were going to confirm. I'd find some old farmer in Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, you know, wherever, and I'd say, listen, here's $1,000. Let me rent that. We're putting up a stadium and all that, and we'll just do it there. You know why? It's away from everybody else. If they're worried about you doing it at the Capitol because of what's going to happen, then do it. But I also saw the last January 6th rally for political persecution there. I saw it. There were like 12 people that showed up. So it's very important for people to realize is that this group, as well intended as they are, this group doesn't have a huge amount of people that are going to show up for it anyway. So what did the media do? Well, they said the Proud Boys are going to be there. The Oath Keepers are going to be there. All these other people are going to be there. It's going to be huge. They're going to flip out. It's the first time the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers have been back since January 6th. That's what the media is saying. Now, if you actually know anybody that's in the Proud Boys, or you talk to anybody at all, or if you just, you know, keep your eyes open while you're on Telegram, guess what? Proud Boys are not going. In fact, they've issued messages to everybody saying, don't go. It's not real. Stop. Don't even say you want to go. It's not real. And even if it was, don't go. But for some reason, the media is still running with it. Even Fox News has an article today. U.S. Capitol Police are preparing in advance for a rally slated to be held Saturday by Trump supporters in support of those arrested in connection with the deadly January 6th storming of the Capitol after law enforcement leaders were caught off guard at the time. Like, listen to how they even wrote that. Like, this is so stupid. U.S. Capitol Police are preparing in advance for a rally slated to be held Saturday by Trump supporters in support of those arrested in connection with the January 6th storming of the Capitol. Not true. They're not. We don't even know if everyone that would show up, because you have people that just firmly believe in the right to due process, right? It's the same thing Black Lives Matter has been protesting for, right? With the bail reform and all that shit. You don't want people locked up while they're waiting for trial. You don't want, I mean, didn't we just have that? Didn't they just, the trans dude that stabbed the protester in New York City or in Los Angeles? The one that should have been charged with attempted murder, but they dropped the charges to aggravated assault and released the bail to $60,000 so he could bail out and get out. Remember that? That's what it's about. The justice for J6 will be held at the Union Square Plaza on the west lawn of the Capitol and is being put on by Look Ahead America by Matt Branyard, an ex-campaign employee for President Trump. Now they're putting up, see, here's the problem. They're putting up Capitol fence. They're doing all this because of the media. Like, in all reality, if I was in charge of this nonprofit or whatever the hell Look Ahead America is, if I was in charge of that, I'd be like, dude, we're moving. We're moving. We'll move to Virginia. We'll move to New York. We'll move to Maryland. We'll move to fucking bumfuck Idaho. I don't care. But we're not going to do this, because here's the thing. If you're really a patriot-loving American, why are you going to spend taxpayer dollars putting up a fence around the Capitol? You know it's not needed. We know it's not needed. The viewers know it's not needed. the media is telling everybody it has to happen. How many of you guys watched the Nancy Pelosi press conference last week? She was asked about it. She's like, oh, we're going to lock it up. We'll have announcements for that. We're having special committee meetings about this all week. We're going to spend lots of money. This is what they want. And you know what the problem is now, no matter what happens on January 18th, it's largely going to be peaceful. And that's my guess. No matter what, the media now wins. Nancy Pelosi wins. Everybody else wins except the people that are actually there for a valid reason, whether or not you agree with it or not, which you all should. Due process, it's something that should be afforded to everybody in this country. Bad or not, you give a rapist due process. Why the hell aren't you giving a guy that stood on a monument inside the Capitol? I know at least one person being held on misdemeanor charges that's in solitary confinement right now, charged with misdemeanor felony charges. And you want to talk about what awful, evil people they are, and that's why they had to be locked up and contained? What about the people that threatened to burn down the White House? What about the people that were offering sharp-edged weapons? What about the people that lied to the FBI about their actions there? What about those people? Do you think they deserve to be out? And now, if you do think they deserve to be out, would you agree that they should be released with no bail? Because John Sullivan is out right now, charged with 7 federal felonies. He's the one that captured the murder footage of Ashley Babbitt. He's charged with 7 federal felonies at last count. Maybe they dropped some, maybe they added more, because they added more later because he lied to the feds about what he did. and they added because he had a weapon. All these congressional hearings where you hear him say people that had weapons caught in the Capitol, he's one of them. He's one of the people that actually did it. He's one of the people. But for some reason, everyone just pretends it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. So apparently fencing is going to be erected around the Capitol. I think Quincy had some footage. Maybe they were doing it today. I didn't watch this video. Security fencing was initially erected days after the violent Capitol breach that occurred just after Trump held a large rally in an effort to overturn his election defeat, which that's not, again, this is Fox News saying that. That's not what the rally was about. The rally was about waking up America and saying, hey, listen, something is really wrong here. Something is really wrong with America, and are we going to stand for it? That's what the rally was about. Fox News obviously is pandering to the left with the way they're writing these articles, which is why Fox News is just as bad as CNN. What's this say? Fencing. So, Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger said, we're here to protect everyone's First Amendment right to peacefully protest. I urge anyone who's thinking about causing trouble to stay home. We will enforce law and not tolerate violence. Again, they are going to, they should not be holding it there. They should not be holding it there. And here's another thing, without saying it too much, okay? So there's another group that was planning on doing something in D.C. This group was just told by Capitol Police that they may not get the escort that they need in order to do what they're doing safely, because those resources may have to go to this. And without saying what that event is, I've talked about it a couple of times already, but they don't want the pressure. They don't want media talking about it. Without saying that event, those people that are participating in that one, that the Capitol Police are now saying they can't provide the security for, those people deserve it far more than anybody else, far more than the Capitol people, the people that are in jail in the Capitol or anything else. Those people are heroes. And this is what's going on. They're allocating resources to deal because the media is portraying what's going to happen on January 6th as the biggest event since sliced bread. Since January 6th. What's going to happen on September 18th? They're saying this is going to be a January 6th again. People are talking about it all over the place. That's what they want it to be. So why the organizers of Look Ahead America don't just say, well, shit, common sense says maybe we should just move to this farm. I guarantee you can't find a farm? You can't find a venue outside of the city to hold it? It's going to have the same level of importance. Get Trump to come down. Pay Trump. Pay people to come speak if you want an event. If you already have people speaking, don't do it in D.C. That's the only thing I would say. If you care about, patriot, if you care about America, don't do it there. You're ruining it. You're ruining whatever chance we have at salvaging this country. These events, they ruin them. Because the media has already portrayed it in such an evil way. Even if it goes off without a hitch, the media and the Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police Department, they're going to come out in public and say, Yep, it's our incredible show of force. That's why it was peaceful. No matter what now, even if the protest was going to be peaceful, even if every single thing about it was just like all the other ones, even if they were all just like the other ones, super peaceful, super small groups, the media is going to take it as a win. Oh, people didn't show up because they knew we were going to be there. It was peaceful when we were there because they knew we were going to be there. We weren't tolerating it. Look at what the Chiefs just said. We urge anyone that's causing violence not to come. People are posting it online. Everyone's saying about it that it's a trap. It's an op. I don't think it's a trap. I don't think it's an op. I think what it was a protest that was planned with good intention, and it was hijacked by the media. And now the media is fucking running with it because they need it. They don't have Trump in the White House. They don't have Trump in the White House saying, outrageous shit. Although he trolled the shit out of Joe Biden earlier today. If you didn't see it, it's on my Twitter. But they don't do that. What they're doing instead is they're just making a new story. And if anyone who thinks that they want to go there on the 18th, guess what? You're participating to something that's going to take the attention off of the man that killed 13 Marines. That's the truth. Because anything that distracts the public right now from what happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, from the mandates, the lockdowns, from all that stuff, anything that takes away from what little media attention we can actually get that's honest, it's just wrong. But again, it's your prerogative, But I would say it raises serious questions to me on why they didn't cancel it. I will say that too. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I know I say that a lot on this show, but I swear I'm not. But I have a lot of questions on why this rally hasn't been canceled, knowing what negative publicity it already has. Or at least not canceled, moved. If they're worried that it's going to be in D.C. and at the Capitol, move. Move outside the Capitol. Go to Jersey, go to New York, go to Maryland, go anywhere else. You're going to have a better reception. Didn't you see what happened in New York yesterday with the NYPD and the New York Fire Department with Donald Trump there? You're going to have a bigger group of people that actually care about what you're doing. But that's that. I mean, it is what it is. I saw someone in the chat. It's like, patriots can't protest anyway. No, you can. But you have to understand. You have to understand that if it's already been made into a negative thing, find a way to spin that positive. Think of if anyone right here in the chat, if anyone can think of a way to spin this September 18th thing to be into a positive, I'll give you a free T-shirt. Because if it goes there, no matter what, it's not going to be a positive for the people that are there. It's not going to bring the right type of attention because you're going to have media that's going to go there. And granted, most media isn't like us. We're not live all the time. Most media is not like that. They're going to go out there with their cameras. They're going to record. They're going to wait for something to happen. When nothing happens, they're just going to take a group where it shows 3 or 4 people, and then they're going to be like, yeah, this is all that showed up, and boom, that's a clip, even though we know it's fake. Just like what happened the other day when Matt Gaetz went up to Oregon or Washington to meet with the guy that's running for Congress up there. I forgot his name. Donald Trump endorsed him. Forgot his name. But when Matt Gaetz went up there, the media, mainstream media, tried to show like a little group. This is all who he was talking to. And then they left. And then you actually saw when other people were there, you saw how many people were actually there. Was it a huge crowd? Absolutely not. It's not a Trump rally. But they showed something like 10 viewers or like 10 people there. And there were probably a couple hundred people. But that's how media does it. But again, just like someone said, you have to stand strong a smart way. Like if Matt Branyard, whatever his name is, the guy that's in charge of this protest, or anybody else, because I know there's a couple of you that have the contact information. You kind of know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. You guys should be urging him to move this somewhere else. Somewhere else close. Because no matter what, it's going to be negative. And I'll tell you what, you're hurting other people, and I mean that without saying it because they don't want me to, but there's another group that's doing something amazing there that day, and they just happen to be passing through. And I can tell you that if the actions of this group impede on the actions of that group, well, you guys just completely and utterly lost someone, and I'll put you on blast for the rest of my life. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway. And then you got bozos like this that show up to DC and just further prove everything. And again, this guy was probably an op too. Early Monday morning, United States Capitol Police arrested a California man who had multiple knives in his truck near the Democratic National Committee headquarters. According to the U.S. Capitol Police, they said around midnight, a Special Operation Division officer was on patrol when he noticed a Dodge Dakota pickup truck with a swastika and other white supremacist symbols painted on it outside of the DNC headquarters. The truck didn't have a license plate. Instead, it had a picture of an American flag where the license plate should have been. The Capitol Police officer pulled over the truck along the 500 block. Officers noticed a bayonet and a machete, which are both illegal in D.C., inside the truck. Police arrested the driver, 44-year-old Donald Craighead of Oceanside, California, for possession of prohibited weapons. He said he was on patrol and began talking about white supremacist ideology and other rhetoric pertaining to white supremacy, according to the police. This is an excellent example of the work our officers do every day in an operational service. They said in a press release. What the fuck is exceptional about it? The car had swastikas written all over it. If I drove by a car like that, I'd smash my brand new truck right into it. I tell you, Antifa and white supremacists are kind of on the same level for me. They always have been. But I mean, it's not top notch. You pass a car, it's got swastikas on it. It's going to make you look twice. Then you don't see. Here's the question I have: How the heck did he get from Oceanside, California, all the way to Washington D.C. without any license plates on his vehicle? And what the hell is he in? If that's the type of person, and I saw other media connected already saying, "Oh, guy with white supremacists and bayonets caught at the Capitol ahead of planned January 6th protest, or it's September 18th protest." Pretty much every liberal news outlet did that. We didn't even mention it in our article because why? It's not relevant. Every news article put these together already. This guy was coming for that event. That's what they insinuate. I mean, seriously, whoever the leader of that group is, Matt Brainerd or whoever else is involved, move it. Move it. You know how many different places you could find in a close proximity to D.C. that would be more than willing to host it? A lot. And it wouldn't be that hard. You're probably not going to have a shit ton of people anyway. It's just kind of crazy. All this stuff that's going on in this country is crazy. So now we all heard Secretary Blinken. We all heard him testifying today. He was giving his bullshit speech, talking about how this and this and this, and that he's a big, lying piece of shit. Excuse my language, but that's. I mean, this is an honest show, and sometimes you got to be honest. That's what he is. Secretary Blinken, Joe Biden, anyone else, General Milley, all those people, they're all lying. They lied to us. They lied to us repeatedly today. You even heard today, Secretary Blinken said nobody's stranded in America or nobody's stranded in Afghanistan. We all heard that. I kind of lost my shit for a second. I'm like, how the hell can you even say that? When Jen Psaki even says there's people stranded now. They have no way out. The United States government saying, oh, find your own way out. And when they do, the Department of State takes credit for it and says, oh, yeah, we helped you out. It's amazing. But he also talked about all these other things. We heard it come up, and I talked about it briefly during one of the times that I just got tired of listening to his lies. On Monday, the State Department announced that the United States was sending an additional $64 million in humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. Yeah. After 13 Marines were killed, I think 20 injured, or 13 U.S. service members, 20 others injured, 190 civilians killed in that same bombing, hundreds more injured, including women and children and all that stuff. The United States government thinks it's in the best interest of Afghanistan to send our money, my money, taxpayer money. I just got a letter from the IRS today because they all of a sudden determined I owe them more than $20,000 that I had to pay last year. So now I have to pay them even more. But whatever. But, so it's my tax-paying dollars that have to go to this. $28,000 what I paid last year. But now I got to pay another $14,000. What? I mean, who's counting? Whatever. Government, you can have my money, right? I mean, you need it, right? To give, sex change education to Pakistan, right? That's what we pay for as business owners in America. Anyway, The State Department says that Afghans are facing compounding effects of insecurity, conflict, and reoccurring national disasters and the COVID pandemic as the reasons for the current aid package. That's why they're sending taxpayer dollars over to Afghanistan. This is in addition to this breaks down to, I think this year under the Biden administration, $330 million. Let's not forget about that $82.3 billion worth of equipment that we just left over there and gave to the Taliban, who's going to sell it to Pakistan and all these other countries that are going to tear apart our technology and know how to defeat us in wars in the future. But, I mean, we're not talking about that. The funds will come from the U.S. Agency for International Development in the State Department. The aid will not be doled out to the Taliban. Instead, it will flow through independent humanitarian organizations, including the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and the World Health Organization, because we have so much faith in those two. The Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, stated that America is by far one of the largest contributors in the country, of aid to that country, including the aid announced today. The State Department has said that this fiscal year alone, the United States has sent over $330 million worth of aid. He said, we will continue to press for the Taliban to respect the rights and freedoms of women and girls and are committed to preserving the gains in Afghanistan, especially women, have made in the past 20 years. They will work vigorously to support all vulnerable populations in Afghanistan, including but not limited to, and then he just goes on to cite all the different children, journalists, person with disabilities, LGBTQI plus, whatever. It's like a different one is added to that every day. And members of ethnic and religious minority groups, end quote. So stupid. But hey, you know what? Whatever. We're not doing anything right to affect who's in office. All those people that were asking questions today, right? They're just there on their own. We didn't vote them in. Certainly not. So stupid. But here's the real thing. When you actually think about it, today we watched these hearings all day, right? So we watched everyone debate this building back better bullshit. This add another B to it, building back better bullshit. We heard all that, and they're debating about the $3.5 trillion that bill is going to cost. Manchin, a Democrat's a holdout, so it probably won't pass right now unless they find some sort of way to smooth him over, because he thinks, well, like common sense would tell him that $3.5 billion trillion is entirely too much money to pay out, rather. He thinks all the shit in it, he agrees with a lot of that, but he thinks it's entirely too much money and it's going to drive our kids into debt, which is what we said this morning. It's what other people said this morning. It's what senators said this morning. But nobody pays attention to that. Or Congress people, I think they were, not senators. But then nobody pays attention. That shit doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is passing this building back better bullshit bill. That's 5 Bs. Go with that. Or no, maybe we should say Biden's building back better bill. Bullshit bill. Whatever. Because that's all it is. That's all he cares about. When Afghanistan was going on, he's talking to all the Congress people to try to get votes to pass this bullshit. Senators, rather. Yeah, that's real. He was just trying to get the vote passed. He didn't care that, American citizens that were dying over there. He doesn't care that Americans were left. Did anyone catch what they said today, Secretary Blinken? That, there's 100 United States citizens over there, and they asked how many green card holders, people that had valid green cards to the United States. He's like, several thousand. Several what? Those people are people that were working over there for us, that have green cards here, are able to be here. Our responsibility should be, you would think, to bring them here, right? No, instead of 120,000 people, 60,000 people were people that were brought over that did not have SIV status. We brought 60,000 refugees. Who gives a shit what happens at the Mexican border right now? Because the Biden administration just said, you're all focused on that. You're all focused on the dead soldiers over there. We just brought over 60,000 immigrants that did not have SIV status, that did not have protected 1 and 2 class, according to Blinken today. But they just brought them over. And guess what? Secretary Blinken also said today they're all going to get COVID tests and they're all going to get the vaccinations before they're released out into the public and rehomed or whatever the hell they call it. Which is weird, because didn't Jen Psaki say just, Friday, that there was no plans to vaccinate any refugees coming over from Afghanistan? Isn't that what she said? I think she did. I think Peter Doocy was like, you're telling me there's no plan? And she's like, yeah, there's no plan. for the Mexican border either. You know why? Because it used to, now I think if you're going to bring them all over, shoot them up full of every vaccination you could possibly have, right? Just take away freedoms of everybody. What do we need freedom in America for now? We don't. You know where they're also removing freedom? From schools. Yeah, I know, You're like, oh, Steve, come on. We already know about schools. Well, did you know a high school cancels a 9/11 tribute because, maybe it would have offended students? It's a real story. It's so disgusting. Students at a local high school were ready to wear red, white, and blue and honor the lives lost on September 11th, but school officials pulled the plug, concerned the expression could be racially insensitive and offend some people. I tell you what, they're right. The decision that they made to pull the plug, I find racially insensitive, and I'm fucking offended. I'm offended that a school in America would do this. I don't even give a shit that they apologized and said, we'll think of better procedures to get this in place and better directives. No, everyone top down in that school should be fired. Anyone who had a decision in that decision to do it. The Eastlake High School in Sammamish, I believe I said Sammamish, I believe it's in Washington or Oregon. Student leadership promoted a Patriots Day theme at a football game at Memorial Stadium against Rainier Beach. The game was previously canceled and then rescheduled to the day before the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attacks. Students wanted to do something to remember the tragic events, but staff intervened. According to an email obtained by the Jason Ranch show on KTTH, the principal said wearing those colors could, quote, unintentionally cause offense to some who see it differently. Well, students are upset. Some parents now speculate school officials that their majority minority opponents would be offended by American pride. Eastlake school students were not yet born when the terrorists brought down the World Trade Center in New York City and attacked the Pentagon and brought down United Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. But their lives and the lives of every American have been changed since then, right? It's just, I don't even understand. I don't even understand. The school canceled the event at the last minute. Students learned of the decision Friday morning during announcements. And a student went on Jason Rants and said, at this point, I was fairly upset and confused as to why the theme was changed. So I went around asking students and our leadership, one student told the Jason Rants show. They'd explained that red, white, and blue was going to be seen as racially insensitive and may affect people in a way that we will not understand. And for that reason, we were to change our theme. One mother emailed Principal Chris BD to ask what happened. She was shocked by the response. I guess the email, and there's a copy of the email here, says, our leadership teachers made this decision and explained it to students, BD wrote. I know tomorrow's 9/11 and understand the sacrifice and values our flag represents, but I think they did not want to unintentionally cause offense to some who see it differently. What the fuck? Are we not America anymore? Are we not America? Is that flag and this flag, the flag that's tattooed on me, is that too offensive? Then get the fuck out. And I don't mean that to be insincere, and I'm sorry for the language, but I'm tired of covering the stories where people are, the American flag, I find it offensive. So leave. Leave. We give all this money. We're giving $65 million right now to people that hate us, that walk down the streets and chant death to America. Can't we give that money to people that live here and don't want to, that are threatened by the flag or threatened because someone wants to make a choice on what to put in their body? I'm spitting all over my fucking computer. But can't we? Why can't we do that? We gave $500 million to Pakistan for gender studies. Why can't we just divvy that up? $100,000 in a bus ticket or a plane ticket. Get the hell out. I will gladly put my taxpayer dollars towards that. Let's reunite people with wherever they want to live. Get them the fuck out of here. With the one condition, you can never come back. But for some reason, America now, just being an American, having a beard, having a nice day, being happy, you're vilified. It's like some schools you got to wear masks. And here's the thing: it's everywhere. It's the conservatives doing it to Democrats, and Democrats doing it to conservatives, right and left. I was in D.C. and I saw people laughing about other people that chose to wear a mask. That's not fucking patriotic. Who cares that they wore a mask? It's their right to do it. Why are people joking about other people doing it? Why do people criticize people for getting vaccinated? Why do people criticize people for making a choice to not do it? Why do people, that's like literally, why doesn't our government just say men are not allowed to have beards and women are never allowed to shave? Can they just do that? Like, what the hell? As a country, we are weak. And I don't mean just as the world sees us. I mean as we are right now. We are just weak. Kids are weak. Men are weak. Women are weak. Our country is weak. Our television is weak. Our honesty in media is weak. Our dollar is weak. This show is called Wake Up America because, well, eventually someone somewhere will wake up, right? I keep waiting for it. Every single day I say it. Someone's got to wake up eventually. We have to be, common sense will kick in, right? You would think. But nope. It won't. Facebook will continue censoring people, even when they're caught. YouTube, the same. Twitter, the same. Twitter will deplatform President Trump but allow a terrorist organization a live tweet. Our government kills American citizens and innocent civilians, and then you hear, collateral consequences. It's a time of war. What the fuck is going on in our country, dude? Literally, what's going on? What's going on? If you're not paying attention, when will you? Like, we are on the verge of literally losing what we work for. Every bit of it. Every single bit of it. Everything that I worked for in my 37 years of existence, everything that I hope my kids would have in the future. And it's everything. And it's not just the Democrat. It's not the Democrats. I don't view them as the enemy. I view us as the enemy because we're doing it to ourselves. The fighting, the bullshit back and forth. Can you imagine when we were kids? The people that are in my demographic, my age group, when we're sitting in high school, when we're 17 years old, when those planes crashed into the World Trade Center, can you imagine someone going out and saying that the flag is controversial? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine when you were a kid or the older people that watch my show, that as you're getting ready to be drafted in, people sit there and say, you got to get some experimental shit put in your body because of a pandemic that has a death rate about the same as getting struck by lightning, actually less. Could you imagine that you can't even write what you want on social media anymore without running the chance of being deleted or banned? Can you imagine trying to sell a shirt and then having the design, removed because of the content, what it says? When it's got a kung fu picture of Donald Trump on it, said everybody was kung fu fighting. Yeah, I can't do that because apparently that's against policies. You know what I mean? Our country is not perfect, and we've never been perfect. Okay? But the beauty of us and the beauty of each generation that comes up is we have the ability to mold our country into a better place than what it was left to us. But the problem is that if most people right now take a look at what direction we're leaving our country, it's going to be something that we're not going to come back from. And I mean that. People could talk about global warming. They could talk about this. They could talk about that. It doesn't even matter. The only thing that matters right now is a legacy we're leaving for everybody else, for our kids, for their kids. And I really just don't see like a happy place coming from all this. I see more schools doing this. You know what I mean? I see more schools saying, "Oh, the flag," just like the woman, the New York Times writer, that said that, you know, she saw pickup trucks with American flags and she views them as white supremacists, and she feels threatened by seeing a big truck with American flags on it. And again, I want to be honest. It's not both ways. It goes both ways. It's not just Democrats. Republicans are doing the same thing. They're villainizing the left instead of just saying, "Hey, here's why they're wrong." You don't need to do that. Instead, they're villainizing. I see it. I see it at the protests all the time. I see it when we watch these things. I see it when we go there. I see it just in conversation. I'm like, why? Can't you just like have a conversation with someone and agree to disagree? And just go with the better understanding. And I know maybe that's like the hippie in me or something, even though I have no hippie. But you know what I mean? But maybe it's just like that whole concept of we can all get along, right? Where we should be able to have conversations and disagree and get along with each other because we have that same focus, which is to make America succeed. I don't think it's about making America succeed anymore. I don't think it is. I think it's about breaking down America as for the evils that people deem it, and then tearing it down and building it up into some fucking shadow of what it used to be and what it could have been. And that's it. I don't know. You know? It's probably nothing, you know. It's going to keep happening too. You know what I mean? And I already know that. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep covering it. I'm going to keep doing everything. You know, but fuck, dude, it's frustrating. It's frustrating hearing about schools that won't do it, or teachers that are teaching kids that, you know, race is okay, or seventh grade English teachers allowing their kids to write they, them to describe people. Yeah. It's a battle I'm having now. You guys know what I'm saying. But the only thing I could say right now is get out. Get out and protest. Get out, vote. Even if you think it's futile, get out, run for office. You know, stand up for yourself. I was having the same fucking conversation with my kid today. Standing up for yourself. That's it. That's all you got to do. Stand up for yourself. Never be bullied. It's kind of a hypocritical thing for me to say, though, right? Never be bullied when, you know, it seems like America's being bullied right now, and we have the power to stop it. You know what I mean? How does this thing even come off? Yeah, we have the power to stop it. We just don't want to. You know what I mean? We don't want to. Someone said the Liberation Party. What? The Liberation Party is the most American? I don't even know what that means. Anyway, I think we're gonna do something. I'm gonna talk to Adam, and I think we're gonna do like a mini tour. I was thinking about it before, and I think it's gonna be feasible, and it'll be like live shows or something. But we're gonna do something. It'll probably be on weekends, just one weekend a day, but. I think I'm going to do, because in all honesty, I used to hold these like freight, when I was in the freight business, I used to do these training sessions, and I would just like rent a conference hall and charge like $75 or something, and people would come in, they'd have food, and then I'd do a full day session and teaching them the trucking industry. And I'm like, wait, why can't we do something like that where we host the show and we kind of just talk about, you know, life and hold like a open thing, and we broadcast it out for the people that can't come. And I'm like, you know what? I think we could do that. So I'm just going to figure out how to do it. And then I am going to start the planning for a Wake Up America Fest, like, you know, next year, like a camping thing where everyone goes to camps. It's going to be music, not a lot of politics there, because I don't think there needs to be. I think it'll be speakers, but a lot of music, because I'm big into music, and just camping and just people being fucking America and what it used to be. Someone said, am I going to live stream the Washington protest? Did you not watch my show today, bro? Did you not? No. The protest in DC is an op. Okay? So no, I will not be going. There will be other streamers there. But I'm not going to I don't want anything to do. I don't want anything to do with it. Unless they call me and say, hey, help us find a new venue. And then I'll help. But they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Someone said, yes, a forum on PBS. I don't know what that means, but something like that. But someone said, cool Woodstock stuff. I mean, just freaking music. And that'll be that. Well, maybe. I don't know. It'll just be different. Just fun, man. Because I think that's what people has to be. But yeah, here's my advice, okay? And I know a lot of people are going to get pissed at me because I have some viewers that, know about that thing in DC. Don't go. Don't go. Unless they change the venue. If they change the venue outside of that city, go. Go. And if they change that, outside of that city, I'll go. Well, I have something to do in the afternoon. But after that, I'll go. Or before that, I'll go. But you'll see this printer behind me in action in a couple of days once I find the cable for that computer. I have a new table, top that I'm going to install. It actually came today, but I couldn't install it because I was live the whole time. But I'm going to do that tomorrow, kind of finish straightening up this room. I think I got to get a new light over there. Hopefully my neck is not sore tomorrow. You see, I'm like, I look like a crazy person. But someone said, what's in DC? Just watch a show, man. That's it. I forgot who's doing the DC thing. Could someone remind me? Yeah, just watch the show again. I talk all about it again for about 20 minutes. But yeah, so I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be live streaming tomorrow. I don't think they finished that Build Back Better bullshit bill. I don't think they finished that. So that will probably be tomorrow, and then I'll cover whatever other hearings. I think there are a couple other hearings. But I'm going to relax. DC is a trap. Do not ghost at Iron Man with the super chat. Thank you for the super chats. And we got a bunch of big Venmos and all that stuff, and I really appreciate that today as well. Not Venmos, but the people that went to the new site, the www.f-antifa.com or .live. And you guys see that? It's the best site ever. And it's because we love to troll. How come that didn't show up on the screen? It should have. fantifa.live. I put out a bunch of shirts too. If you look up Trump 2024 on puretruthclothing.com, you'll see it. But if you go to, that link is wrong. Just www.f-antifa.live. You can contribute there. Former mandated nurse said Boise protest was awesome today to welcome Biden. Yeah, I know. We saw a little bit of that. Saw a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to end my live stream. I think Adam's going to be doing a show at 9 o'clock. He'll put something on Citizen Stringer after. And then at some point tonight, guys, the 24-hour stream's likely going to go down for a little bit because he's got to restart the server. And then we should be using our new playout software at some point in the next day or two. We're just still trying to figure it out, but it's awesome. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys for watching. We will see you tomorrow. This show will be available as a podcast tomorrow, and it will also be uploaded to PTNN tomorrow. Citizen Stringer, we're not uploading anything into there until we meet with the developers tomorrow afternoon, where we are going hard with them, saying either you fix this shit or we're suing the shit out of you. That kind of thing. Someone said muscle relaxers. I've been taking Just CBD all day, to be honest, and it kind of helps for a little bit. My wife actually came in here during one of the briefings and was trying to rub it out, on the back, the neck. She couldn't. I don't know what it is, man. It just got me. But yeah, so make sure you check out Just CBD. I live by this stuff. Just CBD. You can see it right there. Well, yep. Just CBD. These are the peach rings. They're kind of all lumped together because I left it in my truck one day. Safe, effective, and just right. Get ready to discover our best-in-class gummies available in a variety of shapes, strengths, and flavors. Just CBD store citizenstrength.com, and if you use code citizen20, you get 20% off your order. It's a great discount. They have a great product. I swear by them. I use them all the time. I actually have this, and then when I vape, I actually have the Just CBD vape stuff as well. I've had that for a long time, but you can obviously see, and I pay for it too. So I get affiliate code sponsorship with these, but I pay for it when I buy it. So Yeety McYeterson said, am I gonna help your channel? Yeah, go watch Yeety McYeterson after Adam. I don't know what his channel is, so I can't really do a good job promoting his channel. But yeah, appreciate all you guys watching. We will see you later. Let me find the outro. All right, bye.
You've been listening to Wake Up America with Stephen Oatley. Unapologetically American and unapologetically honest. Join us each night at 8 p.m. for more daily headlines, politics, and social issues, covering the headlines that mainstream media ignores. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. See more on the website at citizenstringer.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wake Up America.